Pokemon Scarlet and Violet are finally here, and to commemorate my excitement for this video game for 10-year-olds, I'll be looking at every Generation 9 Pokemon and ranking them in a tier list, because I'm just not very creative. Starting off with our grass starters, Sprigatito. Its name is really hard to say. Dude, hope those paws stay on the ground though. Ahaha, they won't. I already know they don't. Pretty cute. Give it a strong B tier. All right, then the evolution. Floragato. See, this one has an actual name I can pronounce. Is that thing of a yo-yo as a weapon? Dude, that's kind of sick that it has a yo-yo, but I don't know what kind of a weapon a yo-yo would make. Like other Pokemon have actual weapons, like swords, bows, guns. I don't really think a yo-yo is gonna hold up against those. Most middle evolutions aren't that great, but this one, I'm gonna give it points just for having the yo-yo. Gonna put that in A tier. And here we are, the final evolution. Meowscarada. Like Mount Masquerader. Get it? Ha-ha! Yo, magician though, huh? Yo, check this out. Alright, watch the napkin. Watch the napkin. Keep your eyes on the napkin. And I wave my wand. Kazam! And she's gone. Oh wait, what's that behind D tier? It's Meowscara! Haha! I hate it. I don't like it at all. Thank you. I stole the joke from Tumblr. Gonna let you in on a little secret. This is my favorite starter, Fuecoco. He's just a goofy little guy. What's not to like about him? Easy S tier. Then we have his evolution Crocalor, which is the same Pokemon, but with a hat. It's pretty lazy, I'm not gonna lie. Gonna have to drop this down to B tier. We're also doing that gimmick with terrestrialization, where also it's just a hat. Lots of hats this generation. All right, and we have the final evolution here. Skeledirge, big fire crocodile. I like actual animal Pokemon. Some of my favorite Pokemon. I don't like how angular he is. Feels a little weird for an animal, so we're gonna knock him down to A tier, but still very strong. All right, next up we have Wo-Chien. I'm going to assume this is based off some sort of a Chinese legend based on the name alone. I know nothing about the lore here, but it looks very cool. This little snail with dead leaves. Really like the nature vibe going on here. Pretty cool Pokemon. Put it up in A tier. Next up we have Fido. Get it? Fido, because he looks like dough. Ahaha, it's a pun. He's not happy about it either. I don't like the food puns. This feels like someone just heard the word Fido and is like, oh, I got it. Dough Pokemon. I'm gonna put it in C tier. And of course, you have to have an evolution where they finally bake him. Dash Bun. It's yep, it's the same thing, but all cooked up. Gonna put that right next to Fido. Yo, next up, we got the water starter. I thought this was gonna be my favorite one going into this gen, but oh man. Dude, they got the key art here. It's holding his little arm out like it's a little cape. I thought this was gonna be a matador. It's not. Cool first stage though. I'll give it a B tier. All right, next up, the evolution, Quaxwell. Not much to say about this one. This one suffers from the classic middle evolution. Looks like it's stuck in between the two, but not really too special itself. Gonna have to put this one down in probably D tier. That I do not. This one does not stick out to me as anything special at all. Quaxwell. Is the pun supposed to be that it sounds like Maxwell? I don't think that's what it is, but that's one of the worst puns they've ever come up with, if that's really what they were going for. Which brings us to our final evolution, Quaquaval. It's supposed to be like festival, haha. Its Pokedex picture doesn't really do it any justice. It's a dancer with a really fat ass for some reason. I don't know why they give a Pokemon an ass this fat. Not a huge fan of this one, but it's okay. I'll put it in B. No, we're gonna put it in C. Nah, yeah, I don't like it that much. Dude, I saw someone on Twitter call it Quackslay. If that was the name they went with, I would have totally bumped it up a tier, because that'd be a much better pun. Dude, next up, Trudel. He's just a goofy little boy. Look at him, big eyes, buck teeth, doing a little paint thing. Got a little paintbrush hair like me, haha. Dude, he's just a goofy little guy. What more could you want? A tier, easy. And then he evolves into Graphii, you know, like graffiti, but with an eye. This thing terrifies me. He is not a little guy. He is not a little friend. He looks like he's gonna come fuck up my house, and then I'm gonna have to spend all day cleaning up his mess. Putting it in D tier for a dirty son of a bitch. Dude, next up, Charcadet, because he's a fire knight thing. Cool pun. He certainly is a first stage Pokemon, isn't he? This one suffers from the classic problem of this is just a dude doing a job, and I don't really like Pokemon that look like they have to pay taxes at the end of the year. I'm gonna put him down in C tier. His evolutions though. First one, Armarouge. He's a fire knight. That's it. Bit basic, honestly, but he does look cool. And you know what? He may be just a dude with a job, but he's a cool dude with a cool job, so he's going in A. And then his other evolution, Ceruledge. Oh, like Cerulean Edge. Okay, Ceruledge. Even cooler dude with a cooler job. Or maybe he's just better at the same job than the other guy. This one's tilting into Digimon territory, but it's a cool Digimon, so he goes in S tier. Dude, this one, Bombardier. Looks like the bomb he's dropping is a baby. He's dropping it on my life to ruin it. I don't know why they have a stork bringing a baby Pokemon. It's a little weird. Not a huge fan of this one. I'm gonna stick it in D tier. Then next up, a Mischievous alternate form, Fluttermane. It is just Mischievous with a little snaggletooth and some long wings. I don't think we needed this. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna put this in F tier. Up next, another remix, Iron Valiant. And this one's fucking badass. It's a mix of Gardevoir and the other one, it's a Gardevoir variant, but it's got one of those double scythe blades, and that's badass. I'm gonna put it in A tier just because it looks cool. Up next, we have a Salamence variant, Roaring Moon. Looks like one of those proto-dino birds. It's pretty neat looking. Not as neat as Iron Valiant though, so we're gonna stick this down in B tier. Still like him. Dude, up next, Chien Pao. This one's a cool-ass saber-tooth tiger, like an ice steel maybe. Just a cool design all around. Actually, looks more like a saber-tooth ferret than a tiger. Anyway, still cool design. I'm gonna put this in A tier. Dude, next up, Iron Bundle, a steel version of Delibird. Gives me strong Robo Santa vibes from Futurama. If he's half as evil, that's kind of hilarious. I'm gonna have to put this in A tier. I just think he looks really cool with the LED eyes and everything. And this is a cool one, a Pawniard evolution, King Gambit, and he's just a fucking samurai. Badass. Easy S tier from me. Up next, we got Lechonk. Everyone saw this one before. I thought the yellow on his eyes was supposed to be honey or something, like a honey glazed ham. It's not, and I'm gonna put this one in D tier just because I know what that becomes. It becomes Oinkalone. I think it's supposed to be like cologne, Oinkalone, cologne. I think that's what it's supposed to be. But this pig got smoky bed eyes and its hooves look like heels. And I think its tail's supposed to be like one of those spritzer things, but kind of looks like it goes up. Oh, and the male form has a hand. I hope that's a hand. Is that a cat of nine tails? I don't like this pig. Literally a lipstick on the pig moment. Pig should not be looking at me like this. I'm putting this in F tier. Caveman Jigglypuff. Screamtail. It's just Jigglypuff with long hair and a little blush. And eyelashes. I'm just noticing that now. It's got eyelashes and blush. Why? What are with Pokemon with makeup on this generation? I don't like this. I'm gonna put it in D tier. Next up, we got a cool batch. Starting off with Artabax. It's a little dinosaur with a little spike on his back. He's just a little dude. He's gonna grow up to be so tough, I bet. Dude, gonna put him in A for a little dude I love. And his evolution. Wait, no. I think this is what he evolves from. Oh, I mixed it up. They both just look like little dudes. This guy still gets an A tier though. He might be grown up more than I thought, but he's still a cool little dude and I love him. This guy does look a little derpy though, like his derpy little brother, because he is. He is just a pre-evolution. Frigibax. It's okay. I like little dudes. I don't like little dudes that got that little brother energy to them. I'm gonna put him in C tier, honestly. But the final evolution here though, Excalibur, you know, because Excalibur, but it's on his back. This dude's pretty cool. He's the pseudo-legendary for this region. He's supposed to be inspired by the original Godzilla. I'm gonna put up footage of his special attack, which looks very derpy until you see what it's inspired by, which makes it a 10 out of 10 animation. I absolutely love this thing. Another easy S tier. Next up, we got another cool little dude. This one's Bramblin. He's just a cool little dude. He's just a tumbleweed. He's just tumbling around being a little guy. What's not to love? A tier. And then he grows up and his eyes get a little scary and drained to life like mine. Bramblegast. He's okay. He's really the same thing, but with less friendly little dude energy, so I'm gonna put him in B tier. For Bramblin was better. Next up, Gimmighoul. Gimmighoul, such a cool little boy. He's just a little bug, runs around grabbing coins. He's like Harvest from JoJo's Part 4. I think he's pretty neat. I'm gonna put him in A tier for a JoJo reference. Aha! I don't think it was supposed to be that. Next one is Goldango, his evolution. I know he's like a surfer with like dreadlocks. I don't really get the evolution though. I don't really understand what he is. Like, I know what he is conceptually, but I don't understand why he got rich and just went surfing. It's just so bizarre. This is a cool pose he pulls out sometimes though. Look at him. lay him back. Got those hips. You know you looking at those hips. Wanna lay down next to him? No, not really. I'm gonna put this in C tier. Next one's gonna be a fan favorite. I know this because I'm a fan. Palladian Wooper. Just the same as any other Wooper, but he's got bones now because he's a poison type. And he's still just a little guy. All Woopers go in S tier. Along with his evolution, a brand new Pokemon. Clodsire. It's like Quagsire, but just a clod of mud. He's just a much goofier guy. He does have arms now though, so hey, got something going for him. And he's so fucking adorable. Oh my god. Dude, this would make like a great body pillow plush. Absolutely S tier. Next up, Satoddle. Just a goofy little orca whale. Nothing much to say here. He is cute though. I'll give him B. I don't really get the spikes and the weird like hinge mouth, but hey, whatever. He's cute. His evolution, Satitan though. Same thing, just a bigger whale, and I don't really like him that much. Oh god, why does he have eyelashes too like that? Oh, I don't like that. I just noticed that right now. I'm putting this in D tier. Not a huge fan of this design. Next one, Glimmet, rock type Pokemon that looks like a plant. Pretty cute. Nothing too special going on here. Put over B. And then their evolution, Glimora, which is just a big rock flower. It looks pretty cool, not gonna lie. Also kind of looks like a comet, just the way it's like facing forward with the blossom out back behind. I think it's a pretty cool design. I'll put this in A tier. Next up, we got one mid-ass design, Palmy. I think this is supposed to be this region's Pikachu ripoff. Just some rodent with big-ass hands. I don't really understand it. I'm gonna put this one in D for derivative. And then its evolution, Pomo. Spot the difference. Bro, actually spot the difference here. What is the difference? Okay, it has longer hair in front of its ears, and it's a slightly lighter orange. This is awful. This is actually awful. This is the slightest change I think I've ever seen between a line of Pokemon. I don't like this at all. This is awful. This one's going in F. I'm sorry. I just don't like it at all. This did not need to be a separate Pokemon. Doing the final evolution, it got a little taller, and now it has a little neck thing going on here. Palma. It's well, it's a bigger difference at least, I'll give it that, but I still don't like it. Putting it in D tier. Dude, this next one's really cool. Chi-Yu. This is like a yin-yang Chinese goldfish. It looks like a watercolor painting too. This thing is amazing. I absolutely love this guy. And he's just so cute. He just looks like another cute little guy just hanging around. Easy S tier. Yo, up next, this little bird, Flittle. It looks like something you'd see around Easter. I don't got much to say about it, but it is okay. I'll put it in B. And Flittle's evolution, Espartha, an ostrich with a Karen haircut. This thing looks like it's about to ask to see my professor if I try to catch it. Not a big fan of that. I'm gonna put it in C tier. I don't like my Pokemon talking back to me. Next up, we got a Hariyama version, Iron Hands. This is just a steel version of Hariyama. I think it does look pretty cool. I'll put it in B tier. I'm just not a big Hariyama fan is the problem. Next, we got another trailer Pokemon, Cloth. Look at the face on that guy. He looks so nervous to be here. Oh god, what do I do? Oh god, they have the camera out. What do I do? What do I do? Oh, he's so adorable though. I'll put him in A tier. Man, A tier filling up fast. A lot of good Pokemon up there. Here's one that's not going in there though. Slitherwing. It's Larvaceta, but he just kind of slithers around. I think it's supposed to be like a Mothra reference. I think the original was supposed to be a Mothra reference actually. This is just a Larvaceta with extra frills, isn't it? Actually, I'm gonna put that in B tier for barely different from the original. He is pretty cool though. I will say. I do genuinely like the design. Just don't think we need a new one. Next up, Squawkabilly. Just an Elvis Presley parrot. That's really the whole thing. It's okay. I really just don't like his look. God, he looks so sassy too with the half-closed eyes and all of them. Actually, he's got like a Garfield face going on. You know what I mean? And that smug look. I'm gonna put it in C tier. Cyclizar. He's a little bicycle lizard. Kind of plain though. I'm gonna put him in D tier. Next one's pretty cool. Iron Juglius. I don't know, but just a Hydreigon with LEDs. I think that's pretty cool. I just like the techno versions of Pokemon. I'm gonna put it in A tier. Next up, one of the cover legendaries, Corradion. I think this guy's great because he has wheels on his chest and just refuses to use them. He just runs everywhere despite having wheels, and I think that's hilarious. I'm gonna put this guy in S tier for fucking stupid, but like stupid in a good way, you know? It's very funny. Dude, next up, we finally got the first dolphin Pokemon. I mean, I guess Kyogre is technically a dolphin, but like a bottlenose dolphin, a proper dolphin. Finizen, like Citizen, but he has fins because he's a dolphin. Slap that bad boy in B tier and forget about him. You know, his evolution though, Palafin, you know, like Paladin, but he also has fins. So they changed the din to fin. It's not a great name. He's a superhero though. Look at him standing there. Look at that pose. They're all fucking amazed. I'm not really amazed though. I honestly hate this more than the dolphin. I'm gonna put this in C tier. He kind of makes me uncomfortable. Dude, next one, Tabulb. It's a tadpole, but he's a light bulb. I think he's okay. I'll put him in B tier. Next up, Bellybolt, the evolution of Tadbulb. This one is a frog with one of those little electro zappy things that you touch and you have the little electricity go onto your fingers. I do love those things. When I was a kid, asked for one for Christmas like a million times. Finally got it. I broke it within an hour. Just knocked it off the desk. It shattered everywhere. Cut myself. My parents understandably refused to get me another one, so all I got for Christmas that year was disappointment. You know, this Pokemon makes me feel bad. I'm putting him down in D tier just for that. Cool design though. Dude, next up, Graverd. Just a little ghost dog. That's it. That's the whole thing. You got a little candle, because candles mean ghosts. Cool design though. I'll put it in B tier. Dude, and then his evolution, Houndstone, because he's a hound with a gravestone on his head. It's a pretty nice design though. I'll put it in B tier. It's pretty much the same idea as the previous one though. Dude, finally, we have a Dungbeetle. Rellor. I do not like that face. Hold on a second. Let's go zoom in on that. God, he looks so ashamed to be photographed doing this, just pushing around his little ball. I read the Pokedex. It's sand. He promises it's sand. How does he get the stand to stick together? They don't tell you. Anyway, he's a goofy little guy. Put him in B tier. And then he evolves into Rabscabba, because it is the scarab with a ball. I don't really understand the reference here, but it looks cool. So I will also put this one in B tier. Next up, we got Tinkatink. He's just a little boy with a little hammer, a little baby boy with a little baby rattle. Put it in C tier. Not a huge fan of what's going on here, but hey, it's not terrible. Then we got his evolution, Tinkabuff. Growing up a little bit, and that rattle's become a hammer. Okay, just a kid with a hammer. All right, this one's also going in C tier. And then we got the final evolution, Tinkaton, which again, just grew up, bigger hammer. Looks like one of those troll dolls with a hammer. Honestly, I don't like this evolution line at all. This is probably the weakest one so far. Oh no, we got the rats. But at least the rats look like a real animal. This one just looks like an abomination. I'm gonna put this one in D tier. Dude, next up we got Dundonzo. I love the name. He's just a really generic catfish though. Like, it's not bad. I do like having some more Pokemon that just look like animals. So I'm gonna put this one in B tier, but he is just a little bit plain. There's not too much going on for him. Like, I'm gonna choose Wishcash over this guy design-wise every single time. Dude, next up, Iron Moth, a steel version of Volcarona. I think this one's really cool looking. I'm gonna put this one up on S tier, honestly. Huge fan of this design. Up next, we got the Violet legendary, Miraidon. He actually uses his wheels, and he looks cool, but honestly, I'm gonna put him in A tier underneath his Scarlet counterpart, just because I think the running is so funny. I have to keep him above a tier. Sorry, Miraidon. You might look cooler, but you don't got that goofy guy factor that I love. Next up, we got Tatsugiri. This dude's a little piece of sushi, and Dundonzo is look at him the same way I am. Hungry. He's a cute little dude, goofy little guy. Gonna give him an A tier. Next up, Dunsparce. This one's amazing. It's Dunsparce, but with an extra body segment. Except, if you see it in the background there's two forms of him. One has 2 body segments. The other just has 3. It's just 3 Dunsparce stuck together. This thing's hilarious. As long as it's not absolutely awful, this thing is going on my team. S tier. Easy S tier. I love it. Next up, Tandemouse. These two are actually one animal, or maybe they're like phalanx and they just go together. I don't really know, but it's a cool Pokemon. Put this in A tier. But wait, there's more. It's Mousehold. There's a whole family of them now. Oh my god, and they're holding hands and they're gonna come beat the shit out of you together. I think I want this one on my team. Honestly, I'm gonna put this in S tier. I just love colony Pokemon like this that move together in groups. Next up, Mastiff. This dog just doesn't look like he knows what he's doing here. He just looks so nervous, and I kind of relate. I'm not gonna lie. I love when the whole species just looks perpetually confused and unsure about themselves. I'm gonna put that in A tier. His evolution, Mobosstiff, like mob boss mischief. This is the same pun. He also looks pretty nervous, even though he's got the beard to try to hide that frown. I can still see it. I can still see that concern shining through. Things are not going well in the mob. I'm gonna stick this in A tier. I love the impending nervous breakdown that embodies this line Pokemon's design. Coming up, we got another great one. Absolute banger. Toad School. It's Tentacool, but he walks around like Squidward. Look at that dude in the back. He fucking strutting. Dude's got the goofiest run going on, and I love it. I'm all about this. He's just a goofy guy. What's not to love? Absolutely an S tier. I love him. And then, of course, he evolves. Toad School. Dude, this one loses some of the goofiness factor by having more legs, but man, you can see that personality shining through it. Look at those two in the back. Dude's just like talking. He is just waving those tentacles around, explaining. He is just like Squidward. He loves these guys are just Squidward. He does lose some of that goofy factor though, so I'm gonna bump him down to A tier. This one's kind of a tough one to evolve just because it's such a step down from one of my favorite designs. Next up, I think this is the regional bird. We got Wattrel. It's just a little electric bird just soaring around. We got that fucking Finding Nemo mine energy going on here. It's a pretty generic bird though. I'm gonna put it in C tier. And then Wattrel evolves into Kilowattrel. Got a light bulb for a throat. Neat. Lots of light bulbs this generation. Gonna stick him in C tier though. He's a pretty generic bird. I feel like this is the sort of Pokemon I would see in real life. And like, I like generic birds, but they add one every generation and it's kind of getting old. This next one is a fun little pun. Nacli. N-A-C-L-I. He's a salt crystal and a rock. Also kind of got like that power-up mushroom from Super Mario look to him. I'm actually a pretty big fan of this design. I'm gonna put it in A tier. Next up, we got Nacli Stack. And this one's just a Minecraft frog, and I still think that's very cute, so I'm gonna put it in A tier. Now, unfortunately, they don't really keep that same sort of cute little guy vibe going. This is the final evolution, Gargangacle. Big salt boy. Everyone is walking behind him, eating his skin flakes. That's kind of gross, actually. I don't like this guy very much at all. I'm gonna put him in D tier. They just had such a cool line, and they kind of ruined it with the last one. I like little guy energy. I don't like big guy energy. I'm sure some people will love him, but hey, my tier list. Make your own if you disagree. Next up, we got Nimble. Looks like a bug that found a Bluetooth headset and he's just carrying it around. I don't really get this guy, but I'm just gonna put him in C tier. Next up, Nimble's evolution. Low kicks. Dude, this guy would hurt if he kicked you though. Now, I don't really like this guy, but apparently he is a Kamen Rider reference. I've never seen Kamen Rider, so I'm gonna put him in D tier. I'm sorry. I'm not a big fan of the design because it's referencing something I don't get. Kind of the danger with references. If you don't get the reference, it's not very fun. Dude, I get this reference though. This one is called Capsicid. It's a pepper bird, little baby pepper bird. Look at him dancing and grooving. Just a little guy. He's kind of an ugly guy though. Little ugly baby guy. I'm gonna stick him in A tier. But then we got his evolution. Scovillain. He is 2 bell peppers grooving around looking to fight. And I think this dude is hilarious. Easy S tier. Dude, next up, Giraffrig's long-awaited evolution. Giraffe. There's 2 ways of looking at this. Either A, he's a cool dude with a funny little hat, or B, the tail finally ate him, and we're looking at the final moments of this giraffe running around. It's kind of terrifying. I do like it overall, though. I'm gonna put it in B tier. Next up, we got a robot Tyranitar. Iron Thorns. He's pretty cool looking. I love him. Another easy A tier. Here's a cool one. It's called Orthworm, because it's an earthworm. But Orth. I can't decide whether I love this guy or I hate him. So I'm just gonna split the difference and stick him in C tier. This one could grow on me though. Dude, next up, Ting Lu. I'm sure this is a reference to Chinese mythology. It looks like some sort of a bull carrying a cauldron. Don't really understand what's going on here too much, but I do think it's kind of a neat design. I'll put it in B tier. Next up, Varoom. He's just a little motor with a couple of little wheels on the side. Just a little dude, fucking grooving. Dude, I love him. I'll put him in S tier. I love him so much. Then we got the evolution. Reveroom. Looks like a 6-cylinder engine, big cylinder on top. It's a little mouth. It's less cute. Honestly, I don't like it as much. I'm gonna drop that down to B tier. Pretty interesting design though. Dude, next up, Smoliv. Just a goofy little guy. He looks so nervous to be here. Dude, he's just like me, for real, for real. Put him in A for a goofy little guy. I think I've used that pun already. Next evolution, Dolliv. It's an olive doll. Game Freak looking at us like now, like, please laugh. It's pretty nice. Doesn't have that goofy boy energy, so I'm gonna put him in B tier. Next up, we got Arbolivia, like Arbor Olive. It's an olive tree. Honestly, this line just gets weaker the older it gets. We're gonna put this down in C tier. Dude, next up, Tarantula, like tarantula. I don't get the pun here. I'm not gonna lie. He's a ball of yarn. That's it. I do like him though. I'll give him a B tier. His evolution, Spidops. He's still a spider, but he's also a stick bug. Got that stick bug energy. I also like him. Not as much. Gonna put him down in... No, I'll put him in B tier. Yeah, I'll stick him in B tier with Tarantula. Next up, Primeape finally has an evolution. Annihilate. Primeape looks like a guy who's pissed because he wants to kill you. This guy looks pissed because he's like tired. He doesn't look filled with rage. He looks grumpy because he hasn't slept in a while. That hair, those bloodshot eyes, this guy just needs a nap, and I can relate. Put an A tier. Here we got a bunch of lawn flamingos. You're never gonna guess the name. Flamigo, like flamingo, because they're just a bunch of flamingos. And they are some goofy dudes. These guys get an S tier from me. Next up, we got a steel version of Donphan. Iron Treads. I think most of the robot versions of Pokemon I've really liked so far, but this one's kind of a miss from me. He looks more like a scorpion than an elephant with that tail. I think I'm gonna have to stick this guy in C tier. This one, not a new Pokemon, but is a Palladian form. Palladian Tauros. He is a black bull now, and he is a fighting type. He just looks like a recolored Tauros. Just could have been a shiny Tauros. Give him a D tier. And here we have Veluza. This looks like a Gen 8 Pokemon. I'm not really sure why this is a different one. This looks like they just made another Barracuda Pokemon, but it's uglier. This one's just a huge miss for me. I'm gonna have to put this in F. Just another worse version of an existing Pokemon. Next up, we got an ancient Amogus. Root Bonnet. This one is the same thing as Amogus, but his mouth is angry and he has long hair. Not a huge fan of this one, I'm not gonna lie. It's a bit lazy. I'll put him in I can't put him in F tier. He's not that bad. I'll put him in D tier. Next up, we have another Donphan form. This one's called Great Tusk, and I love this one. This one looks like it could be a Donphan evolution. Really big fan of this one. I will put this one up in A tier. Growing up, Donphan was one of my favorite Pokemon. I'm glad that he's getting some love this generation. Another one of my favorite Pokemon getting some love. We have an ancient Magneton, which is weird because he's still a robot, but now he has like some ferrofluid stuck to him, which looks like hair. His name is Sandy Shocks. He's okay. Honestly, I'm not a fan of the ancient robot design. I'll put him in C tier though. It's okay. I can live with him. Might pick him up for my team. And then finally, saving the best for last, Wiglet, my beloved, the littlest, just a little guy of guys. I love Wiglet. Look at him. Look at him go. Isn't he beautiful? I love him. He's so goofy. What's not to love? Absolute S tier Pokemon to me. And then we have his evolution, Wugtrio. It's 3 Wiglets, but unlike Dugtrio, he's a different color now. Saw this on Twitter. Someone just erased the eyes off of him, and yep, he's sus. Put him in S tier. Anyway, that's gonna wrap it up. This is going to be my final list. Let me know if you'd rank anything differently. And thanks for watching to the end. Make sure to like the video if you enjoyed it. It really helps me out with the algorithm. And click the video on screen now to watch more Pokemon. Bye.